lesson 6-8, we're going to learn how to add and subtract fractions. We're not going to use the slide rule, but we are going to find a couple different methods for adding and subtracting. So I've got a few sample problems here. We're going to start over in this column because all of these problems have common denominators. My denominator for each of these is 8. Whenever you add and subtract fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So I know that my denominator is going to be 8. And then I really just need to add my numerator. 5 plus 2 is 7. Here I'm subtracting, so the same thing, I've got my common denominator of 8. It'll be the denominator in my answer. 7 minus 3 is 4. So if you think about having a big piece or a big pizza and having it split into your equal pieces, if there were 7 pieces and we took away 3, so here's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now if we take away 3 of those, we have our 4 left. Okay, so we're just using fraction models and now we're subtracting. Down here, we have a different denominator, but it's still a common denominator because we have 16 here and 16 here. I know my answer is going to have 16. 9 plus 5 is 14. And then I have to add my whole numbers as well. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So all of those had common denominators. In this example, I don't have a fraction in my second number. I just have the whole number 3. So all I need to do here is 2 plus 3 is 5, and then I have my half as my fraction. My last problem does not have common denominators. So there's a few different methods we can use for that. For this one, we're going to multiply 2 times 2 so that we can get 4, because then we'll have our common denominators. So we're going to end up having 4. Now if I multiply on the bottom for the denominator, I have to do the same thing for the numerator. So we have 2. So now I have 2 fourths, which is equal to 1/2, plus 1/4, which is my common denominator, equals 2 plus 1 is 3/4. So that's one way to add fractions and subtract fractions. Another way you can do it that gives you kind of that model that I showed you with the pizza is using fraction sticks. So if we take a look at the first example here, I can see that these fraction sticks are divided into fourths. Both of them are divided into fourths, so it's kind of like having my common denominator. I have 3/4 up here, plus 1/4 more. And if I wanted to kind of take this piece off and add it up here, I would have a whole, which is the same thing I would get here. If I add across, my denominator stays the same, and 3 plus 1 is 4, which is the same as 1 whole. Okay, down here I have 16ths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 16ths, plus 4 16ths. So again, I have my common denominator. I'm going to add my numerators. 5 plus 4 is 9. And then the last one, I have 6. I have 5 6 plus 3 6 equals 8 6. And so if I were to take, again, one of these off and move it up here, I would see I have 1 whole plus 2 6 in the bottom one. I know there's 1 and 2 6. So those are a couple of ways you can add and subtract fractions.